Hey, all, welcome into another edition to S2S Colorado Live. As always, I'm your host, Manny. Make sure to give me a follow on X at Manny_303 and IG at _303 Manny. Catch me on Spotify, Apple, iHeartRadio, Amazon, wherever it is that you get your podcasts. Again, any contributions to the show would be much appreciated. Again, although not required, but just appreciated. Venmo will be at Manny S2S. You guys can see, right there underneath. Today, been a week. Not a lot, or I guess a lot has happened this week. And we're here to dive into. We got a Ralphie report, news and notes, recruiting, game picks. So Big 12 game picks. And then, like we talked about on Monday, I have a scouting report of Julian Lewis that I made coming out of high school about what I saw. And again, this is about a year and a half ago. So pulled that out and just here to share it with you guys to see, kind of what that, just to kind of prep us for the first start of Julian Lewis's career tomorrow at West Virginia. And then fifth one is going to be the keys to the game. So this is going to be kind of a little bit interesting, the keys to the game, though. The reason I say that is it has been one thing that I've been talking about all season long, and now it has switched. Again, based off a matchup and now quarterback position. So, but yeah, thank you guys for joining us again. Like always, we have, without you guys, there is no show. But I just really, really do appreciate each and every one of you as this channel continues to grow. All right, so let's dive into Ralphie report. So something that came up was Pat Shurmur, right? So yeah, so it was is this a good or bad thing? I don't know. But apparently Pat Shurmur was not calling. He's been demoted to QB coach. Brett Bartolone is the one that's going to be calling plays. At Jackson State, I believe they had in HBCU the number one offense when he was the offense coordinator there. So now what I said was good news, bad news. Pat Shurmur was demoted after the Utah game. So although last weekend looked better, it wasn't what we were all expecting, right? And again, at least Julian got in. It was took, again, getting down to the third string quarterback. And again, that part of me wants to think that is the reason why with Julian is the reason they did that is just based off of the red shirt. But again, but anyway, Pat Shurmur stripped of play calling. He is the QB. It's been that way for a couple weeks. Prime even said, you guys may have not even known this happen. Things happen all the time. It's just the information you're not privy to. So, Coach Prime this week, just kind of, to get us again prepped for our guy Julian, for Juju this weekend. This is what he had to say. So when asked about him a little bit, he said, responding to a question about, is Julian ready? What can we expect? He said he's good. He's throwing the heck out of the ball. He's a young kid. We're going to make young kid mistakes, but it's up to the staff to get him prepared, to get him ready so he can be concise and precise. He has to make quick reads and get the ball out and run when he feels pressure and just be himself. Just do what you've been doing your whole life. So again, when Prime does say this, I'm with him 110%, right? This is part of now starting a true freshman. There are going to be some mistakes, and I think we do have to be ready for it because again, what we have looked at is it has been what is the right word for it? It has been a bumpy road at quarterback. I know a lot of people are very excited for it. I'm very excited for it. But again, I think there does have to be some patience that is now going to be had. And that was part of me wanting to get this year out of the way to start with, right? Like we know that what we do know is that there are going to be some freshman mistakes. They're going to be right. There's going to be a lot of mistakes here. But again, if we can get those out of the way now, these last four games of the season, and build off of this for next year to get those out of the way. Hell, man, you hit the ground running next year. Yeah, about time. Humble Texan says, haha, about time. Oh, and then there's Neo, yo. What's up, Neo? Hope all is well, man. Thanks for joining. But yeah, you got to hit the ground running. And now I'm excited, so I don't want to jump into too much of what I have for the show about Julian. and all these things. But man, this is a big opportunity. This is a moment I've been waiting for quite some time. Like we just really excited to have Julian out there. Now, with that being said, the injury report is pretty lengthy. I can't find the one from yesterday, but because they typically have a Thursday. Oh, man, I have the Wednesday one. Let me get that pulled up for you guys. But the Wednesday injury report, right? The initial one. Some weird things happened, was my understanding on based off of the injury report. So again, let's take a look into this. Let's look at it real quick. Let me get that pulled up here. So here's our injury report for the game this weekend. So this was from Wednesday. Out is Hakeem Williams, Makari Vickers, Amari McNeil, Christian Hudson. Out first half, Taufik Bayer. There was that targeting penalty. Doubtful, Simeon Price. That is first time we've. Okay, good. Questionable, R.J. Johnson, D.J. McKinney, Larry Johnson, third, Jordan Seaton, and here's our probables, as you can see there. Now, I know there was something weird happened with it. I was kind of reading about something with the injury report that some players were now downgraded from probable to out and all these different kinds. Like a lot of movement happened there. And I just have not had a chance to sit there and actually look at it. Just been kind of a busy week. So yeah, it's just, I don't know where it would be at this point, but that's what the Buffs are facing. This is the reality that they're in right now this season. I don't know why it is, but the Buffs injury report has looked crazy all year long. Not sure what the deal is. There's been a lot of players out this season compared to, others like we just showed West Virginia, right? And I guess they have quite a few players out, but just interesting, to say the least. Yeah, Chad says I'm excited for Juju. I just wish this was happening with more season left, with more chance to turn around. Yeah, I know, and part of me is like, all right, we're gonna win out the final three, and Julian's gonna take the Buffs to a bowl game, and you write all these good things. The optimistic fan in me, but again, we'll see what happens there. But I am really excited for this. This is most excited I've been for a game. I'm excited for every game, but the last week I think I was okay for, but yeah, this is the most excited I've been for a game in quite, since those early weeks of the season, right? It's not like, like, man, my team plays tomorrow, now I got to watch, but this I'm pretty excited for this game this weekend though. Absolutely. Just really excited to see what Julian brings to the table. Again, based off of what I've watched, everything like that, even the scouting report side of things, just watching him as a high school player, man, he is none of that pass he made last weekend, against Arizona. I was not shocked by that. I was not surprised by that. This is who he is, again, like Prime said, and again, I'll keep going back to it, like our guy Dukes of Scoop said, this is who, and again, you go back and check out his Twitter feed, and this is who Jew is. This is who he is, man. This is what he does. He's been doing this his whole life. Humble Texan says, I've been a little removed since it's gone super south. What's the deal with DeKalen? Did he play last week? No, he's not even showing up on the injury report anymore. So my thinking, again, I don't know anything. My thinking is he might be one that's entering the portal, or dismissed from the team, away from the team. I don't want to say dismissed. He's one that's no longer with the team. So I don't know what's going on with him. A lot of those guys that we did see play a lot, I think, we'll find out more as we get moving, as offseason approaches more, and then once that full-on transfer portal season opens and more said after the season, I just think that he is probably one that will not suit up for Colorado again. Whether that be next year, or I think it's kind of done at that point. So just my opinion. Again, don't know anything, but again, just my opinion. So, but yeah, that's kind of what the Ralphie report was this week. Not a ton there. Trying to think what else Prime said. I think that might be it just for that. But now on to recruiting though. IMG pipeline, man. Here we go, right? Colorado. So let's start with this, right? Colorado landed 4-star athlete Alex Ward out of IMG. So he is a 27 class 4-star. man, big get there. And again, that IMG pipeline is solid. They are building something there. Again, keep attacking that pipeline, because that is not going anywhere. If anything, it's just going to keep growing and growing and growing and growing, and let that become a football factory for, Colorado Buffaloes. So great. Welcome, Alex Ward. Just pumped up to have him. Again, you can continue building, especially those recruits out of high school, that where you get to develop them within your own system, makes all the difference in the world. 3-star defensive lineman Tico Crinton. He decommitted from Florida State. And one of the teams that popped up is the Buffs. He said, they asked him about teams that have, asked him about Colorado. He said, I just started speaking to them recently, so I'm going to just learn about them when I go on this visit, which will be November 22nd. That is the weekend of, or the day of, Arizona State. So last home game as well for the season. Upcoming visit. So November 22nd. Now, again, we've been talking about the Penn State fallout, or I guess I have. Terry Wiggins, 4-star linebacker. He's currently committed to Penn State, but he will be visiting on November 22nd as well. Again, would be another huge get for Colorado, especially at a humongous position in need, at a position where Colorado has struggled recruiting, right? We look at these, now you got Rodney Colton, and now you're going to, if Terry Wiggins, another 4-star linebacker, you keep stacking, especially out of high school, man, and get them in the system that you want to run, scheme. Sky's the limit for these guys. So again, hopefully they can flip him. Another one, so November 21st, so a day before it. I know the significance of that, but Amari Polidor, 3-star cornerback out of Baltimore. He is currently committed to Penn State. He will be visiting as well on November 21st. Again, those flip targets are huge. And, I don't know if you guys follow On3 Rivals. Again, as much as I love college football recruiting, right, I don't miss article. I don't miss a ton of the articles out throughout the week. So every day I like to check, scroll through it, have it open in another window, at work, whatever it may be. But On3 named Colorado basically a team with work to do on National Signing Day. There wasn't a ton of there was not like negative about them, but it was more so like almost like a team to watch out for, because we know how Colorado does as the signing day gets closer, right? And the hope would be this year to not have to build as much through the transfer portal, right? The transfer portal it's just a double-edged sword, right? And this year we kind of found out about that. And again, that could go back, like we've been talking about, is Prime not being there. Prime's been, and again, off to take care of himself and his health. This past offseason, he wasn't able to, conduct those, whatever it may be, lead the team. So, again, they'll go back to the transfer portal for sure. But with Prime being there, being able to talk to these kids, meet with these kids, see what they're about, I expect a much different product on the field next year as well. So, but yeah, the Buffs are in a good position right now. They just got to continue stacking these players, stack. Just keep going. And then this offseason, I'm 110% sure. I shouldn't say it, 99.999% sure that the Buffs will knock out the transfer portal and do a fantastic job there, like they have the first 2 years. So, again, just something to keep an eye on. Recruiting, again, it's to me, it's one of the, outside of watching the game, the coolest part of college football, right? It is just a whole other side of the game, right? Like in the NFL, you only get, X amount of draft picks, right? Guaranteed 7 every year, right? So this is just a different, you get as many 35 draft picks a year almost. So, but again, one of my favorite parts of college football, probably is my favorite part of college football, honestly. So yeah. So anyway, keep your eyes on that. Just to recap, November 22nd, Terry Wiggins will be here, 4-star linebacker. Again, trying to flip him from Penn State with the James Franklin fallout, as well as Amari Polidor, 3-star cornerback out of Baltimore. Again, he's committed to Penn State as well. And then a name to watch is 3-star D lineman Tico Crinton, decommitted from Florida State, and he'll be visiting as well on November 22nd. And Colorado landed 4-star athlete Alex Ward out of IMG. So pretty cool stuff. How about text? It says, can we pick up coaches in the transfer portal? Uh, yeah, I think it's called firing and hiring, though. So, I mean, that's a nicer way to put it, right? Like, I know last year I wanted to pick up a different Ralphie in the portal. But again, now we have what is it, Brandy? Another alcohol-based Ralphie. And that Ralphie, man, she runs that thing. She's badass. So she's getting after it. So, hopefully we'll have as good as luck with picking up at some coaches this offseason. So, and again, we'll see how that shakes out. It does feel like Shermer is just, it seems like Coach Prime don't want to fire anybody midseason. So, I'd expect to change their offensive OC, right? I think something's got to give there as well. Now let's dive into some game picks. I didn't really get to it last week. Just a busy week with Halloween, Dodgers in the World Series. Just felt like a lot going on, right? So we have one, I think it's 6 games this week. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We have 6 games this weekend to pick from. So let's these are in Central Time. It's all right. So these are in Central Time, but let's talk about them. So Houston at UCF. Man, I am picking Houston. So that +1.5. Houston at -1.5. Give me Houston. I don't like doing spreads. Not very good at them. So I'm going to just take Houston straight. I think UCF, again, they're better than I thought they would be. And again, I fully expect Scott Frost to turn that program around at some point. It's just some of those coaches and teams are a perfect fit, and it does seem like that with him coming back to UCF. So I think give me Houston there. This is a big one, right? The big one at 10 a.m., right? College game day is going to be there in Lubbock. So number 8 BYU and number 9 Texas Tech. Texas Tech is 10.5-point favorites. Oh, actually, that line is shifted. So this one is a little bit older. I had it at -11.5. Man, I'm taking Texas Tech, but BYU covers here, in my opinion. I think this is going to be a close game. BYU, man, they just play up to their competition, play up or play down. That is just kind of who they are. So give me Texas Tech by field goal. And again, I hope it is more because I do not like BYU for some reason. I think that number, though, of the quarterback pisses me off. That 47 just, man, I don't like it. So, and I'm going for Texas Tech. So, and they were my pick to win the Big 12. So, mid 3 games into it, 3 or 4 games into it, it's like, all right, this is enough. My mid-season prediction, I should say. So, next one, we got Kansas at Arizona. So on here, it has Arizona at -4.5. It is actually right now -5.5. But I take Arizona, and I think 6 points. I think that's fair. Arizona by 6. And again, do not listen to me. Do not take this as advice. I know absolutely nothing about this, so please don't take it to the bank, right? But this is just for fun. So Kansas at Arizona. Yeah, give me Arizona there. And then where we at? We have one Iowa State. Do we do Iowa State at TCU? Yeah, here we go. Iowa State at TCU. That line is actually moved to -7.5. So when these are made, just to give you guys a heads up, when these are made during the day, these are made earlier in the week. So these that we have that you see coming up on the screen, but it is that line is actually at -7.5. And I'm taking TCU by field goal. So I think that's going to be a close one again. And I'm going to save my Colorado and West Virginia pick for that, but that's how I'm rolling this week. So tonight, 6 p.m., that game kicks off in about 20 minutes, that Houston UCF game. I got Houston, Texas Tech, Arizona, and TCU. So those are my picks for the week, my Big 12 picks for the week. So Chad Bone says, if the tortillas are flying, I got Tech. Well, if they are, they're going to get penalty. What is it, like a 15-yard penalty every time? And then, we didn't even talk about this because it's been so crazy with we've been so worried about the Buffs, but that whole thing that happened about the knife and all that at Texas Tech, that a knife got thrown that Lance Leupold said, and the staff, someone planted it. That is just crazy to me, like wild. But Texas Tech, though, I got tech though too, but anyway, that was just a whole thing that we just missed out on. I missed out on just wild stuff. So anyways, yeah, so those are my picks this week. And again, like we always talk about, we have that promotion going on with Rebet. I'm going to put it in the chat right now. Let's see. So again, if you use this link right there that I posted in the chat, you will get a 100% purchase match up to $100. And then if you decide to sign up just through the app website without using the link, use the code VOCFBCU. Not only helps the channel out, but again, you will get a 100% purchase match up to $100. So yeah, if that's just something you're into. And again, if you have a gambling problem, call 1-800-GAMBLER. Again, 1-800-GAMBLER. But yeah, that's where I'm at for the week. Those are my picks. I think I have some in my teeth. Sorry, guys. But yeah, this is where I'm at. And we'll see what happens. Now, let's jump into, just to get us ready, the Julian Lewis scouting report. So let me get that pulled up in here. But yeah, this was made, I should have probably went through it again, but this thing was made a while ago, just so you guys know. This was made during high school. I didn't want to fix it or anything because I like to always look back at these things to just to see where I was wrong, where I was right. And again, you don't really know till 2 or 3 years down the road. No one's ever 100% on these things, but yeah, it's just really cool. So let me see. Share screen. So let's pull this up real quick. So here is, I'm going to remove this. So here's the scouting report that I had on Julian Lewis coming out of high school. So again, it's kind of the same with every single. Is that big enough? Someone in the chat, let me know if that is big enough that you guys can read it, because I do want you guys to be able to. See this thing. Maybe that's a little bit better. So, right, obviously you have your athlete information, player evaluation, Julian Juju Lewis, position QB, high school Carrollton, games evaluated, 9 full huddle, 2024, and then 3 broken hand games, Elite 11 finalist. So this alerts, again, this is going to be something like character issues or prior injury history, all kinds of different like things that just continue to happen. Here's the measurables, as much as you can collect. Again, some of these verified, some of these unverified. Critical factors. So, and again, this is going to look different for each position, but arm strength and velocity, accuracy and ball placement, pocket presence and poise, decision-making and vision, mechanics and footwork. Now, with Julian Lewis, though, he is, and as you guys can see, I know I want this up there too, sorry. Arm strength and velocity. So I have him, and again, the scale goes up to an 8. It is really hard to get an 8. Again, it's just kind of there. It's typically, 7.9, because there is never going to be a perfect prospect, right? And again, as much as people want to say this, there's never going to be one, right? As well as when you're, scouting NFL players, college football players going to the NFL draft. But here's the critical factors: arm strength and velocity, 7.7 out of 8. Accuracy and ball placement, 7.8. Pocket presence and poise, 7.9. Decision making and vision, obviously 7.8. Mechanics and footwork. So some of these will get there. I don't know why I did that, but that should be a 7.9. Julian Lewis, though, if you guys have, even watching him last week, that was crazy watching that, right? Like and again, I was not shocked. I don't know what it was. Maybe we didn't get used to it, but that pocket poise that he had, the mechanics, the footwork, his footwork is so impressive, and just the way he manipulates the pocket. And if you guys don't pay attention, he is always keeping his eyes downfield. It is a whole, you can't teach those things, right? Those are those pieces you can't teach. It's those things that you either have it or you don't, kind of thing. So, right, you can't teach speed, right? So, it is crazy, and these are things that I noticed in high school. It is just, he is extremely, extremely polished, And again, this is crazy because when you were watching it, you're like, this is actually a junior that I'm watching. And again, right, we had all these other guys like Bryce Underwood, right, all these other guys ahead of him this year that I should say that other places had. I never had him in front of him because you watch this and it's just it's like you're watching a different, what is the right word? A different player, a different league of player. Julian Lewis is just all of these things, just extremely polished. He's been doing this his whole life. Yeah, Neo, I'm with you, dude. His release is crazy fast. The ball comes up. He is well and nice and tight. Everything looks great when he's up there with the ball. Keeps it high and tight, and it's one motion, right? One tight motion. He is yeah, it is crazy that I don't know. I don't even know how to explain it. Like, he is just, none of this stuff was eye popping to me that he did, but it's still like, it's still crazy to watch him play because, again, he's actually a senior in high school right now. So footwork and base, so zero wasted motion, hitches, climbs the pocket, resets feet. So again, this is just kind of the videos that I saw. Never crosses feet on 3-step drop, and again, you will see that a lot. You will see that in the NFL a lot. You look at somebody like Kyler Murray. He crosses his feet, and again, it might just be because he's the short legs that he has. And it sometimes looks like he's doing it, but he's not. But with Julian Lewis, it is crazy. It is just crazy watching him. Deep ball touch, 55-yard rainbow, 0.3 second hang time, throws receivers open on go routes, 12 bombs over 40 yards. So this is one of the ones that is extremely this one right here. Pocket manipulation. Slides left, he climbs right, resets shoulders. It is 6.5-yard average climb, 4 sacks in 9 games, and you seen that, and his eyes are always looking down the field. And again, you go back again, watch film on Huddle. It is always the same. He just goes through his process, boom, 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 even his reads. But the pocket manipulation, right? They'll call it escapability, whatever we want to call it. It is always there. He's always moving his feet and resetting and throwing off of a good platform. Again, eyes are downfield, never bails early. Again, we saw that. Legs to create. And this is one. And what we talked about, throughout the season was with Julian, he's fast enough to create, right? 4.68 speed. I don't think a lot of people understand that is, again, that is really fast for a quarterback. That is really fast. I would assume he's one of the, and again, at Power 4, but he's one of the fastest players on the team, right? He'll land in that top 20, 30 percentile in there. Every throw. So bomb. Yeah, he can make every throw. There's not a single throw on the field he cannot make. So all 9 routes on the route tree. Again, if you never looked up a route tree, just Google wide receiver route tree. There's 9 of them, and again, there's different ones now, like your whip routes, all these different things. But just your basic 9, your wide receiver route tree. But processor. Watch that before he knows where. He knows what's going to be there. He knows, a lot of the times. And again, this is probably one of the things he might struggle with. But in high school, he was able to process where before the play, he knew where the ball was going. And again, it wasn't that the coach was like, look over here. Julian knew where the ball was supposed to go and what was going to be open. So here's your, red zone assassin, 27 touchdowns. There's one INT inside the 20, 68% completion in tight windows. Again, these are some next gen stats that, something that I like to look at. Intangibles, so toughness. So again, some of these things not really fair, but broken right hand. I don't know why that's on there twice. So again, but strengths, amazing footwork, NFL ready base. So kind of when I was talking about what I said, like he could be like a 3rd string quarterback right now. This is what I mean. Just he's just, everything is there. Great mechanics, textbook release, just kind of like these are all the strengths, right, that we talked about. Good arm talent, and man, he is a leader. You look at the what he was doing on the sideline. Again, if you watch well off, like you couldn't tell that is a true freshman on the sideline there. And again, it is and again, the difference between him and a Caden Salter, right? And again, the age of Julian Lewis is what makes this so damn impressive. It's impressive anyway, but it is just so damn impressive the way that Julian Lewis commands his team, the huddle, just the person he is. So again, this is none of this is shocking to me, but it's cool to watch, I guess. Right. And again, add some weight. And again, looks like he has already. Tighten wall ball and 30+ mile per hour wind throws, right? And every quarterback's going to struggle throwing into the wind, right? And again, there's probably a couple other ones that, that are going to come up as we get closer or more exposure to Julian Lewis. And again, this is the next level. This is Power 4 football. So player summary, Julian Lewis is a complete modern QB. Sit in the pocket and laser 60-yard bombs. He can escape, reset, hit the deep over. He can run the RPO and gas you for 40. He did it all with the broken throwing hand last year. Still throwing bombs. That was insane to me as well. Still took him to the state championship. They obviously lost, but man, like still doing what he did, guiding his team to a state championship with a broken throwing hand. Unreal. So Silling, 4-year Power 4 starter, 1,200 yard, 100 TD, floor 3-year starter, early NFL draft. So again, that is the floor for him. And again, this was last year coming out. I do really think that this right here, I don't know what it is that's going to come out after the season about that, but this kid should have been the starter since, like I said, since day one. I don't understand that. And again, I probably never will. I'm not there every day. And again, just some of those things that we're not privy to, right? But I do really think that he should have been. And this was my projection last year. Power 4 week 1 starter. I believe this is where he should have been. I believe he should have came out. This should have been the starter. And who knows where this season would be, right? Then to be quite honest with you, I don't know if it would have been any worse, but it might have been better. We don't know. Grade. So here's the scale of grading. Anything below this is kind of, it depends. Walk on, preferred walk on, underneath a 6.0, but I had him at a 7.8, which is a blue rating that I have. And this is a superior 5-star. And again, he was my number 1 quarterback. Didn't matter the class this year when he reclassified, because he should, be a senior this year, whether it was 25 or the 26 class. It did not matter for Julian. Did not matter for him because he is just such a great football player, such a great quarterback. And again, the day that he flipped, the day that they said that he was going to visit Colorado in the summer, I was like, you got to be kidding me. Like, the Buffs are going to land this. He's actually going from, why is he going, right? Because I was like, I thought it was a hard commit. You have Lincoln Riley there that, develops quarterbacks and works his magic, right? Produces, top 10 pick after top 10 pick at quarterback, right? It was a really cool day. And then when he finally committed, I was like, holy cow. I think my wife was, I was just telling her how big of a deal this was. And that's why I'm just so excited for this. I've been, those of you who have been following the show, know that I've been saying this for weeks at this point, right? Right, just we got to get Julian, and we got to get Julian, and get Julian, and get Julian, and it's time. So again, we go back to it. I would have honestly said that I would have liked to see him after the Houston game. I think that was time. It was ready to roll. Let's get it going already. And who knows at this point, right? So some of those games that Colorado couldn't get the pass game going, and the frustrating part is, right, if you rewatch some of those games, there's so many open receivers on the field that are running there. There's so many yards left on the field that Caden leaves out there. And again, I wish Caden nothing but the best. I'm not sure what the plan is. I hope he, some kind of grad transfer kind of thing, and get back on the field and do great wherever it is. Again, I wish for him nothing but the best. But Julian needs to be out there. This was long overdue. I'm excited. And then maybe my wife will take me to Manhattan to go watch the final game of Julian starting. So we'll have to, I think, from Denver. I don't know how far of a drive that is, but maybe I could talk her into it to see as many Julian Lewis games as I possibly can, because this is going to be a real treat tomorrow. Just really excited to watch this young man ball out tomorrow. So there's the scouting report for Julian. And again, if there's anyone in particular that you want to know about, any of the Buffs that have been signed, put it in the chat. I'll be more than happy to dig some of those out. And if I don't have a scouting report on them, definitely can get one for you. So just to go over them. And again, one of the shows that I want to do this off season is once time starts to that off season drags on, and it's like we're going to create some content again. This is my first go of it with the off season, but once we get there, what I'd like to do is just going over every single recruit that Colorado has signed. So just go over each scouting report. So, for this 26 class, and as well as the transfer portal, I talked to somebody, been kind of in contact with somebody who has this whole new transfer portal thing going on. Him and I are going to speak over the after the new year. So after the portal, all that kind of stuff, just to touch base on a little bit and how we can incorporate the two together. Yes, I am too, because I'm very excited that the game is on early tomorrow as well, Neil. Like that was these later kickoffs. Gosh, those 8:15 kickoffs, those suck. Those are awful. Like I can see why Prime doesn't like them. I don't like them at all. I I like that window in between like 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock till like 5:36. After that, it kind of sucks. It's just so late, especially going to Boulder. It is just, it's makes a long night. So I'm ready. I'm ready for 10 o'clock. If we do 10 o'clock the rest of the way, I'm okay. Even if it causes me to be up in Boulder at like 7 or 8 in the morning for the last home game against Arizona State, like I'm with it. Yeah, they really do suck. Those are horrible. Should never happen. We should get like a complete skip on them next year, because it feels like we play in almost every, like, how many is that this year? 3, 4 at this point? 4 last year, I think it was. They suck. And if they are going to just make them away games, so I can get home earlier on those nights. But yeah, let's talk about now some keys to the game. So here we are. So let me get this pulled up. So I just want to go over a couple of West Virginia rankings that they have. So as a team, so just to kind of, before we dive into like why I picked the keys to the game, why I think they're important. So West Virginia, the points per game, so they average 20 a game. They rank 104th at 136. They give up 33.9 points per game, which ranks as 117th in the country, again at 136. Opponent yards per game, they give up 442, which ranks 117th. And then let me see, rush yards a game. So they rush the football. They get they rush for about 158 yards per game, which is the 55th ranked. Opponent rush yards, they gave up 164, ranked number 79. And I did want to do the pass statistics. So this is one. Opponent pass yards a game, they give up 278 yards a game, which ranks 126th out of 136 in the country. So remember that. I just wanted to kind of give these so we are able to understand where I'm coming from here. And again, that way you guys don't think I'm like, he just wants to see Julian drop back and throw it 60 times. There's a method to it, I promise. The turnover margin, they're 0.8, ranks number 24th. And then they run the football at their rushing percentage is they rush it 60.54% of the time. So that ranks number 10th in the country. And they throw it 39.46%, which ranks 127. So, they're going to have to wrap up this weekend, right? First thing that comes to our mind with all the missed tackles. Now, my first key to the game is let Julian sling it. This team is not very good in the air. This passing defense of West Virginia. Let Julian do his thing. And again, this is why you recruited him. Let him do his thing. And again, it's not just like throw every play, but let him throw it. I think you kind of take the training wheels off, right? Like, let's see what he got. Don't mess with the playbook. Don't do any of those things. Don't think you have to shorten it. Let Julian learn. Let him run the offense. Let the arm talent show, because again, we've seen some of those throws last week where everybody was like, holy shit. Like, it's like, yeah, this is who Julian Lewis is. And you got to get that ball to your playmaking wide receivers. Get that football in the hands of Amari and Miller. Get the football in the hands of JoJo Williams, right? And I don't know about Sincere Brown. I might be a little bit, I don't know how I feel about him right now, but those two should catch the ball. Get Draylen the ball, right, in space. Get those guys the football. Let's get going. Get Quentin Gibson, get Q for 6, some touches, and I would like to see Quanell Farrakhan get some burn too, and then Gavin Miller as well, right? Get the football to those guys. Let's get going already, right? Number 2, Red, obviously I said throw the ball. Again, they give up 126th ranked versus passing. But again, it can't be out there like we're going to drop back 60 times. That's not a recipe for success. 1, like rarely is that a recipe for success, and 2, with the freshman quarterback making his first start. So again, just I say throw the football, and then 3, get some turnovers. Again, to win this game, Buffs are going to have to, especially on the road, you got to get turnovers to win. And they have to wrap up. No more missed tackles. This missed tackles have cost the Buffs a bunch of games this year. Right, Georgia Tech, right? We just keep going and going and going with it. Even Houston, you could say, right? The missed tackles are killing this team. So they got to limit those. Again, this is who they are, right? Like we're 3 games left in the season or whatever it may be, but this is who they are. This is who the Buffs are at this point. They miss tackles. You got to ensure that you got to start wrapping up. You got to start bringing them guys down. And then some turnovers, right? Morgantown on the road. You got to win this. You got to win the turnover battle. You win the turnover battle, it's like 90% of the time you're going to win, unless you're the Buffs against Georgia Tech. But still upset about that one. That one screwed the whole season up, it feels like. So I don't know how you guys feel. I keep going back to what would have happened if they would have won that game, right? Like, does the season change? Does it look different at this point? Because Georgia Tech still has not lost, right? Like, they're not getting enough credit. I don't know what the hell's going on. What was it? The AP poll is that thing does not make sense to me. I was watching Tennessee has not beaten a ranked team. Every ranked team they've played has beaten them, and they were ranked at like 17 or 18 in the AP poll. I think they were 25 though in the college football playoff poll, the CFP poll, which again is the one that the only one that counts. But that was just weird to me that's the way it was shaking out for them. So, but anyway, but that's what I think needs to happen now. Going into this, right? My game prediction here. Whether you know this or not, West Virginia is 6-point favorites. So I'm struggling with this one. I want them to win Julian's first start. I do think he's going to light them up. I do think he's going to have a big game. Oh, man. Okay, so they do all these things, right? Let's say that they keys to the game, the ones I laid out, they hit all 3 of them, do them good enough, right? Win the turnover battle. I want to pick the Buffs by like 10, so let's just go the Buffs by touchdown. Okay, so what is the over under on this game? I didn't even check that, so I don't even know why I look at it, but I want to check the over under just to see how many points they're thinking for this game. Let's see. Buffs. Not really comes up, but yeah, okay, so Neil, I thought this exact thing. I'm like, well, what the hell? Well, how are they underdogs? There's like West Virginia has just been getting blown out, and now Colorado got blown out against Arizona and Utah the last 2 weeks. So I'm and then Utah as well, right? So there's 3 blowouts. So right, so I kind of had to check myself a little bit. It was a little, that's where I was at with it. Let me see. Big 12. What is the over-unders? 52.5. Yeah, I don't know. 30-23, let's go. 30-23 Buffs. You heard it here first. 30-23 Buffs. That's what Neil, though, I really did think that the first time was like freaking out with it. I was like, how the hell? How are they doing this? Yeah, so I'm going to go with Colorado. See, Neil, you're going to talk me into this again where I'm going to mess up my pick. But, Neil goes 42-10. Okay. How many touchdowns you got for Julian? What do you think his stat line looks like? I want to say Julian throws for – okay, I'm going to be crazy here, okay? I'm going to go 4 touchdowns, 310 yards, somewhere around there for Julian. Omarion ends up with over 100. And then he spreads it out amongst the rest of them. So 4 touchdowns. I feel like that's crazy, but I'm going to go 4 touchdowns, and I'm just really excited for the Julian Lewis era to begin. But 4 touchdowns, 310 yards, over 100. And let's switch it. 35-17 Colorado. All right, 35-17 Colorado, and Julian lights it up. All right, that's where I'm rolling with. Buffs are going to get it done tomorrow. Neo's going to go with that. Okay. I hope your 42-10's right, and we end up with 5 touchdowns from Julian, but don't put too much pressure on him. But I'm really excited for this game. The rest, I'm sure the rest of Buff Nation is pumped for it. This is the beginning of something special, right? This is the beginning of the start of the next chapter in Colorado football, right? This year's been tough. This year is not what we were expecting as a fan base. The team, Coach Prime, that whole, everybody was not expecting this, like, to this extent, right? So I think, we deserve something good. And if we can get something here going at the end of the season with Julian and somehow finish the season strong and somehow end up in a bowl game, that would be fantastic. You won't hear a lot of complaining out of me, but that would come with expectations for the next year, which is fine. So, but yeah, I got the Buffs. I think the Buffs get it done in Morgantown, and then they get a bye week, and then they're back. They get Arizona State, and no Sam Levitt. He's out for the year. So, again, that's another winnable game for them. And then you go to Manhattan, which I'm going to have my wife drive me to. So, wife, if you're watching this, there you go. So, but tomorrow we'll have the show for you guys ready to roll right after the game. So 12:30, which is great, versus your 1 o'clock or whatever it is that we normally feels like we have. But let's roll with it, though. I'm ready for the game tomorrow. Right. So 12:30, 1 o'clock, whenever it is, we'll be here to do the post-game show. And hopefully we're talking about a monster game by Julian, Buffs win, and heading into a bye week with some momentum, right, for Arizona State the following week. So, but yeah, check it out. I'll start tweeting out fourth quarter-ish, the link, all those things. And again, if not, just make sure you hit that subscribe button, like button, share it out with anybody. But we'll be here right after the show. I'll get that thing scheduled, so put a reminder on there. But again, I do appreciate you guys. As always, just make sure to give me a follow on X at Manny_303, IG 303_Manny. Any of the major podcast platforms, check us out. You just go to Colorado at the Voice of College Football. Any contributions to the show, much appreciated. Again, Venmo is at Manny S2S. You can see it there somewhere on the bottom. It'll scroll by. Also, we do have a Colorado shop. So if you guys do see that right there, Colorado shop at whatever, that paywall, that whole thing down there. Check it out. There's some cool stuff on there to help support the show. But yeah, I really appreciate you guys. So until tomorrow, like Heisman Trophy winner Travis Hunter said, "Go Buffs, baby." All right, guys, have a good evening. We will catch you tomorrow. And go Buffs. Go Buffs. Go get the Mountaineers tomorrow, and let's go Juju.